Tuesday to you all, the Rad Picker. I am here driving down the road to do a little bit of different kind of work. I am going to get on a roof with an adjuster and look for hail damage and wind damage. I am a certified roofing inspector still, and I will still do that from time to time when asked. So I'm going to do a little different work. It's nice to get out of the Rad Cave, as I call it, and see the world a little bit. We know, as Jake says, like on his podcast with Shane and Keith, Reseller Island, that sometimes when you're reselling, it can feel like you're alone, because you are a lot of the times. I mean, I don't have anyone helping me. I'm by myself. So I was just going to bring up the subject of eBay and how I've let my store tank. I was a part-time reseller, started last year, sometime in February. Officially started really hitting it like in June. But I got a notice last week. It was my 1-year anniversary on eBay. So I kind of say it's been a year now. And I was rolling pretty good for a part-time reseller. I mean, I was doing roughly around $7,200 on my 90-day average, which isn't terrible. It's not making you rich, but it's good little extra cash, little gas money every week. But now I'm down to like 4,000 something. I mean, it fell off a cliff. And I had a really high percentage positive feedback. I think I'm at like 97 point something now. Some of that is my fault, but I did have a couple questionable things. And I'm an emotional person. If you've watched me ever live, I'm all gas pedal when I'm going, and sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me. Not the best business model. Does make for a good salesman, an action guy, but on the PR and HR side of things, it's not the greatest, and you can make mistakes that way. It's good to take time, and I'm learning that even at 48 years old, to be patient, trying to be, not react to everything. I am a knee-jerk guy. I'm the guy you want. If somebody's beating you up, I won't think twice to jump in. I'm a lover, not a fighter, but that's me. I'm just emotional. I tend to jump, but not always a good thing. But as far as eBay goes, I know what to do. You got to be consistent. I think I heard in a video, it was probably either Kevin from Commonwealth Flipper or Commonwealth Picker, both the same person, or Jake from J-Ride Flipper. Listen to both of them more than anyone else. I single them out a lot in videos because those are the two main people that I watched originally, and still do all the time. I mean, if they pop up, I'm always listening to something, and adding some people in. These people I'm starting to get to build small relationships with. I love that. It is that camaraderie that keeps you going, as well as the picking. I do like to pick alone though, but I'm not opposed to bringing someone along. But when I got someone with me, I tend to, I may have that syndrome where you're the lead role in your own movie. I know that's not a good thing, and I'm partially kidding, but I like to talk a lot. I like to interact. When I am quiet, I'm really quiet. I don't want to say a word, and I'm obviously tired and irritated, so don't speak to me. But for the most part, man, I don't shut up. Whenever somebody's talking, it reminds me of another story, and I'm the story guy. I'm not a one-up guy. I'm an affirmation guy. I'm telling this story to be like, yeah, I get it. So if you don't get that confused with the one-up guy, because the one-up guy, nobody likes that. But anyhow, back to the eBay stuff. There I go trailing again. I did notice one thing, another sidebar, can't help it. Seems like the majority of resellers have some attention deficit problems, and I think that's kind of funny. Those are my people. That is me. So you'll notice that if you watch it all. But anyways, back to the eBay stuff. I did hear from one of these videos that, you work for eBay. You've got to be consistent. And that's something I didn't do during the fourth quarter last year when it should have been rolling. I have inventory. I've had inventory right off the get-go. I made out last year just on one sale. And I'm a natural buyer, impulse buyer. But I was working on a cabin, doing my construction thing, and just was so busy. I didn't have the energy, and I was playing around with other things and just too busy. My mind was too full of full of other things, but it really hurt, and I'm grabbing that rope and pulling myself back up into the eBay stratosphere, because they really need that to be consistently bringing in income, and it really fell off. I mean, I'd go weeks where one sale. I mean, so I started having to auction off cards and stuff, graded cards and silver that I had, just even taking a loss to get the cash flow rolling, because for those of you that don't know, I'm officially full-time reselling. I mean, I'm always going to do a little something to make sure my family eats, but I'm going at this thing full speed, man, all gas pedal. This is it. This is what I love to do. I said it in my short videos all the time, and I'll continue to repeat myself that this is what I love to do, and I finally found that thing in life that I'm passionate about, and I mean, I can't stop thinking about it. I love it. And it's, again, like I said before, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a lot of work to it. I mean, I've got a house full right now of stuff I have to ship. I needed it shipped yesterday, and I get to working on it, and I'm like, well, I better do a live, and then I find myself listing and get out of order. So respect all you people who have a schedule and you are sticking to that and disciplined with that schedule. I have a lot to learn in that area, because I'm emotional, and I just switch. Obviously, I'm just switching subjects here. I like to move different ways, and I always want the next thing. But shout out to you disciplined people. I'm learning from y'all, and hopefully continue to. But anyways, the eBay stuff. So I got busy last night. Even going back my photos, some of my earlier photos, it's funny, the progression as you go. More and more I see this as a retail store, like a storefront. And that's a side I do have a little experience in, being in sales. I understand presentation. Look, I got a golf shirt. I'm a t-shirt guy. I wear a golf shirt like this, golfing or to church. In a night out, I get cleaned up. But most of the time, I'm in a t-shirt, man. I'm t-shirt and shorts and casual. But I understand I'm going to meet this adjuster. First impressions are everything. And it's construction. But if I pull up, in a tank top, first of all, wouldn't be very appealing. But second of all, it matters. Pull up, and the guy may be thinking, oh, this guy's got it together. Maybe not, but I believe that. So that's my experience in sales. I understand. So going back through my listings, I'm looking at pictures that aren't very good. I tried, when you're starting, you want a white background, and I got horrible pictures I need to fix. And my titles, I did the majority of my listing copying other listings. Those of you who aren't familiar, you can take a picture, go to sold comps, and see something similar and sell similar, and you basically just copy and paste what they put. But they may have made mistakes. And that brings me to another point. If you're a new reseller, my number one advice for a newbie who knows nothing is check your listings, recheck. I am naturally not that guy. Man, I'll write a soliloquy, a monologue on Facebook, and just pouring my heart out about something I'm passionate about, and my wife will text me and say, in the first sentence you got 7 misspelled words. So that's me. If you're anything like me, I'm like, boom, go, I don't care, leave that to spell check, the computer. But sometimes I beat spell check. But anyways, check your listings, take your time a little bit. Like for me, it gets a little boring and stagnant sitting there doing 20, especially the same thing. I can't stand that. But it's so important. You will thank yourself later. I'm telling you, the times I had a pair of shoes, a nice pair of Nikes. They were my wife's, and she gets shoes for coaching and stuff. So, they were barely used. And I'm colorblind. So I got it under these lights that give a little tiny bluish hue. And I thought they were gray. Or I copied a listing. I could have been that. Well, they ended up being pink. So the people get the shoes. Had I said pink, either one, they wouldn't have bought them, or I would have sold them to somebody else, and I wouldn't have had to deal with that return. Especially new, you're getting excited, whatever that was, 40 some bucks. You see that in your account, and you're like, yes, and you may even spend it. And then next thing you know, you're getting this return. It's taking money out of your account, and you're like, if I would have paid attention. So that is my number one advice. First of all, that if you're gonna take anything from me is outside of being a good person, treating people the way you want to be treated. Take your time on your listings. It's better quality over quantity, and that's so hard for me. I wanted to have a store. You know, when you're starting, you got 3 things, 4 things, 5 things. Man, but I'll say this, and I may have made a mistake talking about my store tanking. I went through my store. I had 700 and some items, and I had a lot more inventory. I have a huge death pile that I need to get through, and I'm going to. But I got up there, and then I started looking. Like, I got these little trinkets and stuff that came in a box, and there's some value on there, but they got low sell-through rate. And for those of you that don't know, your sell-through rate is how long it takes something, and everything's built in 90-day increments, how long it takes to sell. If it goes beyond 90 days, it's a bad sell-through rate. It's not a fast-selling item. So I have a bunch of stuff, and I took that stuff down. I was trying to like really clean my store out, but I don't think that was a good idea. I really think I should have went through those items, took better pictures, and then if they were $11 items, let them be $11 items. That's another thing I did. I tried to get top dollar on the comps for everything I listed, and that wasn't a good idea. Now the flip side is, and if you do this, you do this. I can't stop you. It's just my opinion, but I really don't care for the cut the market, and just because you have 15 storage buildings you clean out every week, and you've got so much volume, you ruin the market to me. Like if you got a $50 item and someone goes in there selling it for 20, it's a domino effect. Then the next person does, because that comes up on the sold comps, and people start, next thing you know, $50 items worth $17, all because you had a volume mover comes in and cuts the market. I can't stop you. It's just my opinion, but I think nowadays, and look, with this live selling I'm into now, I got 2 avenues. I'm doing the static stuff over here, and I've got the volume. So I'm live selling. I am cutting a market, and that may be the same thing. So if I'm a hypocrite, I am. But the static listing, if you're going to sit there and wait, don't cut it to sell it faster. I would suggest, or would hope, that you just go to a live show on District, Dibbed It, First Class Treasures, or Craigslist Hunter, or Knickknacks or something, and sell it quick and get your money that way, rather than pull down an entire area on eBay or something that people are waiting statically. But that's just my rant on that. But of course, if you got to sell it, you got to sell it. What can I do? If I'm desperate, I may do it too. So I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I think with the influx of resellers, and especially all this live selling, I think that happens more and more. Because I'll go back 2 weeks later and look at some of these comps, and it's completely changed. And that's just business. That's the market. I understand the market. That's one thing I don't necessarily need to be schooled on, is understanding, markets. I've been in a few different industries, so I get that. But anyway, back to the eBay. So my goal is to streamline and really get focused, change my pictures, be more presentable, go in, make sure I'm removing stuff. See, I sell a lot live. I do love the live, but some nights it's so funny. I'm trying to find that middle ground, because some nights it's just rocking and rolling, man. People are buying, and I think when people start buying, you get that fever, because I'm like that. If I've got money, I'm just buying, and sometimes I'm buying stuff for no reason, just because it's a good deal. But it is fun to get those boxes in the mail. Some of y'all have given me some really good deals. Shout out to Hard Rock Resales. It's funny, you gave me some incredible deals, and I should have waited on the stuff, or in live selling started my bidding higher, but I didn't. So you'll be thrilled to know that I did not make a killing on that whatsoever. Matter of fact, I think I took a loss on the big knives, the big sharp things. But I appreciate you. You got me, sold me some really good stuff. But that's all part of it too. Sometimes cash flow is better than hitting a home run, but I just thought I'd tell you, it's some good stuff. I've done the same thing. Matter of fact, that same example is on my live selling. I'm giving out deals, incredible deals. Sometimes I joke that I'm losing money, and I am, but it kind of weighs itself out. I may make on something else that's been sitting around, or feel like I got rid of it. So it is worth it. And there's a little bit of marketing to this too. You know, I'm a nobody. Nobody knows me. And that's part of it too. I've said before, I have no desire whatsoever to be famous in any way, shape, or form. I do like people. I like being around people. I like talking to people. I like networking. That is, if I have a skill, it is networking. And that is not some learned trade. I'm just naturally a people person. I'm a social person, so it comes easy to me I like different people. I mean, you know, you hear the term like jock, nerd, whatever, redneck, all these. I'm a little bit of everything. I really am. I'm a hodgepodge. I guess that's kind of why I like Kid Rock. I kind of see him the same way. And if you don't like Kid Rock, that's fine. To each his own. But, you know, a little bit of country, a little bit of rap, a little bit of rock and roll. I'm a chameleon. And one thing I will say, but I'm not fake. I am me. You may see me in cowboy boots one day, some Air Jordans in the next, some Vans with no socks on the next. That's me. I just maybe have multiple personalities. It's part of my movie that I'm living in. But anyway, so I like dealing with people and I like being around people. But as far as the YouTube stuff and these videos, it's super uncomfortable looking at yourself, talking to yourself. But I'm getting more and more comfortable. But I don't desire any fame. I don't want to go somewhere and be like, hey, there's a Rad Picker, or there's Scott, or there's Gilly Time, or whatever. I want to meet people, be nice. But sometimes I get a little bit introverted, and I'm an extrovert. But there's sometimes I don't want to have to go around to, you know, all these people. Even though if that happens, it happens. I'm a nice guy. But I do understand getting your name out there and building income off that's part of the business too. It's super hard to, I know people do it, but you got to be extremely disciplined, which I'm not, to just be on eBay, just reselling without any sort of other streams of income. I think you need to diversify, but it can be done. But I think I'm the type of person who's going to need multiple things, especially to keep me interested. So saying that, I'm making these videos, hopefully help somebody. I will always say be positive, help someone, even though sometimes I'm the problem. I have no problem admitting that. I am an emotional guy. Sometimes I get myself in drama. I have no need to be in, no reason to, but I'm a natural helper. I'm loyal. I see somebody I like, I want to stick up for them, especially if I agree with it. But it's not wise. It really isn't. Take that advice from me too, from somebody who learns the hard way. It's not wise to do that. But I find myself in there defending people and I get myself in trouble. But anyway, so sometimes I'm the hypocrite is what I'm getting at. But I'm a positive person. I wake up happy. I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not, saying every time you see me, I'm a sweetheart, especially when it comes to basketball. I've got a whole different alter ego for that, and it's not good. It's not. It did help me when I was young. I didn't think this out when I was little, but now that I'm older, I look back, it's kind of like creating this alter ego to, instead of being scared, you're brash, and maybe that's a defense mechanism. I recognize that now. I didn't know that then. But that guy got through some tough times. I mean, I'll give credit to the Lord. I am a Christian. I'll always give praise to God, whether you like it or not. That's your problem. But I know my truth. So I got to give credit to him. But my personality is to get through hard times. You got to be tough, thick skin, and it's not always a good thing either. It can make you callous to things that you should be probably more empathetic to. But anyways, the basketball side of things, another animal. It brings out the best and worst in me. But anyways, there I go trailing off. But when it comes to the eBay stuff, for me, if you are out there and you are new to it, I gave you my number one advice. Pay attention, slow down on your listings, take good pictures. Seems simple. That's what I heard, but I, flying through it, and I got a couple sales, so I thought, I know this. That's another thing I do is when I think I got it, I'm like, I don't need your advice. And that's not a good thing either. But I am teachable, but I also have this, I guess that's being on my own, having to make my own way. I didn't have a lot of help. Like, I have a great father and mother, but, you know, wasn't like they gave me $10,000 or, I mean, I just had to make my way my whole life, which I'm actually happy for. I mean, I can survive in any situation, and that's a credit to my dad and mother, who my dad taught me how to work and survive, and all credit to them. But I am a little envious sometimes of some of you folks who have, you know, you've had a hand up and stuff, and everybody needs that. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just my little bit of envy, little bit left in me, trying to get rid of all envy, strife, and jealousy, to be honest with you. But I do have a little envy now and again for folks who, you know, grandpa had some land, or mom and dad, or just helped you out, because unless you've ate, some of y'all have not ate jelly on crackers for dinner, and it shows. I don't advise it, and trust me, there's a lot of people out there that are way worse than me. Don't feel sorry for me. I made my own bed anytime I struggled, even though sometimes I wonder why, but that's a whole other story. But for newbies, back to the point, if you're a newbie like me, and I'm still, green, you know, in the carpentry business, whenever somebody came up, a new guy, it was funny. It always had the $12.99 tool pouch from Lowe's with the orange plastic speed square. If you don't know what a speed square is, it's this little square triangle you have in your tool belt, you know, to mark boards with and figure out angles. Of course, a newbie doesn't know how to do that. But every time, and it doesn't have a leather belt, little cloth, or the leather belt sewed in, the little $12.99. I mean, every time. And all of us got, you know, big leather bags. You know, we know you got to have room. You got to have something quality to work with. But it's funny, I'm still the guy with that little tiny leather $12.99 pouch trying to, you know, carry wood with the big boys. But my advice would be, if you are consistent and keep doing it, your sales will come. I mean, I was selling stuff, I have no idea what I'm doing. I understood sell-through rate, but I can only put so much in my brain. Sometimes I'm like, well, let me just try it. Like, that's the kind of learner I am. If I sit and just watch, I don't really learn well that way. I have to get my hands on it, do it, and it bothers me. Someone standing over you saying, hold this, and like, I'm like, all right, let me just feel it. And once I feel it and get a feel for it, I'm good with it. But I wish I was a little more the other way, where I just listen, because I found out later in life that if you'll sit and listen to someone, even somebody you don't necessarily respect yet, or you don't think knows as much of you as you, that you will learn something that you didn't intend to learn. And that's what I try to keep my ears open, listening to other people. Like, I'm not naturally a organized guy writing down goals. I've never written down goals. And I'll say that's a weakness, not a strength. And I need to be better at that. But I do understand, like, okay, if they say be consistent, I'll always follow the guy who looks like he's doing it right. I mean, if you're successful, I'm going to listen to you. Might not do it exactly like you. I may even tweak it my own way. But I will say, for a newbie, man, being patient, those sales will come. Like I said, I wasn't doing everything I was supposed to be doing. You know, I went to my third yard sale and bought the whole thing. I mean, spent like $700, but I had a semi-trailer full of stuff. Now, I sold a bunch. It was well worth it. But man, I had a lot of stuff I've thrown out. I still have stuff. I have a shed full of porcelain dolls, new in the box, but I still got 100 probably that I've got to somehow deal with. And it's hard just to throw them. I mean, I would take $5 a piece for them. But it's almost harder to go throw them away than to sell them. But doing that and being disciplined, the sales will come, was my point. And then it started surprising me. I'm like, wow, I really can do this, you know, because I'm an optimist when it comes to life, as far as I trust people too much. I trust them right off the bat when sometimes I shouldn't. But I'm a pessimist when it comes to my success. Or I guess I've been fooled so many times with, you know, kind of these get-rich-quick schemes, people I trusted coming up to me, even invoking God, saying, you know, the Lord put you on my heart to do this for Christians, and That really, really ticks me off. But so I'm a little wary. I'm like, will it work? I mean, I thought eBay was dead and gone. I really did just a year ago, but it's not. It's alive and well. So if you're new to selling, sorry to go on so many different tangents. That's what you have to deal with when you deal with me. But be consistent, be patient. And I will second Jake's J-Ride Flips advice of don't go out and buy a ton of stuff. I'm that guy where, and I still don't have a thermal printer right now, and that's the first thing I'm going to buy. And I bought a lot of other stuff that I could have had a good thermal printer. I mean, I'm still printing and taping. I know people are really going to laugh at that. But every time I go to buy one, I'm not going to buy a new one, even though they're cheap on Amazon. I always thought, well, I'll run into one here, and I still haven't. So I may have to bite the bullet because this is ridiculous at this point. But don't go buy out a bunch of stuff, because I am the kind of guy, man, if I'm going to a rodeo, I want a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, a belt buckle. If I'm going to a basketball game, I want fresh shoes. I want to look the part. When I go golfing, I want to feel like I'm, the best in the world, look good, play good, feel good, all that stuff. But don't go out investing a lot of money. Use your money. I once had a gambler in a casino tell me this. I was playing craps, and they roll the first dice. If you know anything about craps, your first number is your point, unless you get a 7 or 11 or you crap out. But if you roll a 6, that's your point. So you are playing to get a 6. So the only thing that matters is a 6 or a 7. If you roll a 7, you lose. If you roll a 6, you win. So I put my bet out. All right, I'm playing for a 6, money all over the board. And there's different little bets. And then they roll a 7 and they rake all that money back in. And they're like, this guy next to me, kind of drunk, said, hey man, he goes, I'm just an old drunk. He goes, but can I give you some advice? And me being old enough, this is several years ago, I said, sure, buddy. He said, I'm a professional poker player. He said, I gamble for a living. He said, quit putting your money out there in their pocket. He said, take you a little bit and win with that. $10. When you win with that $10, now you can use their money to gamble with. That's how you slowly build up. But me, I'm the kind of guy, man, I want to put $10 down and I want to win 1,000. And if I win $10, it doesn't mean I came here to win big. I want to walk away with a watch, some new pair of shoes. But it doesn't work that way. You will lose more like that than you'll ever win. Sure, you'll have the story of the one time, but I relate that to business. I want it tomorrow. I want success now. I want to see it. Well, there's some days, and some days you second guess yourself. Can I really do this? But the truth is, if you'll play with their money, you got that one thing, that two things, selling shirts. Man, I sold off when I started some of my own golf shirts. They sold. Then you could use that money. Now, I still didn't do it right because I just buy more and more. But that would be my advice, is take that a little bit slow. Even though I was desperate. If you were desperate, take it from me as a guy that was desperate to get out of what I was doing. I'd been burnt 2 times in a couple of years and almost lost everything I had. My guys left me, my own friends, or I won't get into that. My guys are working for other people that I knew, and I have somebody, a homeowner, that does me completely wrong and lose almost everything I have, and I'm just desperate. And then I also knew I wanted to do this. So if you're in that situation, it can cause you to make rash decisions. My advice is don't listen to me, the rad picker. Go listen to Kevin. Go listen to Jake. Go listen to Death Pile Picker. Go listen to Rod, Picking and Punching. Go listen to Dave, ADH Dave. Go listen to Kerry, American Arbitrage. Go listen to Soda City Flips, Shane. Go listen to these people, Vintage Sports Flips, Keith. Go listen to these people who have been through it, who are succeeding, who are far down the road, who give you solid advice, and listen to it and do it. That would be my biggest advice. I'm still doing that. I'm still learning that. But that's what it's about. But man, in this world, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. You can do it. And as the old Saturday Night Live saying, I always say it's Gino Ariama, the coach for Connecticut, but it was what's his face, the governor of Minnesota or whatever, senator or representative, what's his name? You're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. But I hope you have a great day. Please, if you haven't, please like this video, subscribe, watch the channel, support your local resellers. And one last thing before I go on to my tagline. If you got a collectible and you're a yard sale, just a homeowner, a reseller, if you own a item and you have control of it, do not put a price tag sticker on the face, on the cardboard, on anything that could rip or tear. That is the worst thing you can do. On an old record, put a piece of plastic over it. Use a sticky note that won't tear it, man, but you put them little stickers on it, it ruins the item. Collectors want a flawless piece, or as close to flawless as you can get. So please, put your sticker somewhere else. Put it inside of it, somewhere you can't see it, on the bottom, somewhere you can't see. But anyways, as always, keep picking, stay rad, have a great day, reach one, teach one, hold the door, say thank you, say please, and smile at someone. For that, I'm out.